Hearts, hearts, bottling hearts. Welcome back to Fog Football. Motherwell nil, Hearts nil. It's probably the one scoreline I wouldn't have predicted for this game of football. I actually did a correct score of 3-2. I think most of us were predicting score draws or obviously either team to win by at least like over 2.5 in the game, so to speak. 0-0 though. I just thought Hearts. Shanklin's back. To win this game, they'll need a goal or two. And Motherwell, the way they play, it's destined for goals, but it never really came. There was a header cleared off the line. There was an offside goal, but overall, I don't think there was enough in the game to really warrant too many of those things we all want in games of football, goals. But I mean, I know I said bottle, right? Bottle for Hearts. I thought they'd lose. I did. I thought Motherwell were a pretty good price at 13-5. But yeah, Hearts didn't lose. They drew 0-0. I mean, I think if we were to pick a team that would probably actually be more happy with the point, it kind of would be Hearts, because Motherwell were the better team. Now, the only sad thing for Hearts is it does kind of snooker them when it comes to that league table, because they're 5 points clear of Celtic. So therefore, if Celtic win both games in hand, Celtic go top of the league. But I mean, Hearts' last 5 games, they have picked up 6 points. Far from ideal, but at the end of the day, folks, right? Hearts were always going to drop off. They were never going to continue with a record of winning most games and drawing the odd one, but never losing. This was always bound to happen, right? That's just the reality that we're dealing with here. They've hit a sticky part of the season. Now, what I would say is the sticky part of the season is against teams I wouldn't really have expected a sticky part of the season to happen against. They drew with St Mirren, albeit, not the greatest record ever in Paisley against St Mirren. Then drawing against Dundee United, losing away to Aberdeen. I mean, again, it's not like they've lost to Dundee, they've lost to Livy. They've lost to Kelly, who are really in brutal form. Cheap plug. We'll review that Kelly Dundee United game later on. There's nothing like that at the end of the day. Like the teams you would really, really expect them to win. But I mean, Aberdeen, we all thought they'd do something there. Now, obviously, Hearts' next game is against Kelly. The next game's must win. It's at Tynecastle against the worst team in the league on form. Now, obviously, Kelly do play tonight. The game's just kicked off. Hell, they might stop their losing rut, but I don't believe they will. But Hearts is... Hold on, let me just double check. So, yeah, Hearts' next 5 games, listen to this, right? At home to Kelly, away to Celtic, away to Falkirk, at home to Rangers, and then away to Hibs. That's the 5 games where if you picked 6 points up out of 15, you would be like, well, you know what, fair enough, because that's a very tough run of fixtures. You've picked up 6 out of 15 in fixtures you would expect Hearts, if you're going for a title, to do better in. But obviously, everyone behind Hearts is going to smell blood, definitely. But let's get into the game of football then, shall we? Malisi scuffs a shot wide. I think he's the joint top goal scorer. Didn't have his shooting boots on the day though, I'll tell you that for free. And listen to this for a start, right? Harry Milne is the 3rd fastest player outside of Europe's top 5 leagues. That's a start and a half, by the way. That's an absolutely insane stat. Kingsley gets absolutely wiped out on a counter-attack for Hearts. Again, Motherwell, doesn't matter who they play against, they're forcing all the other teams to play on the counter-attack. Tell you what, see this Jens guy? He will be poached by a bigger club. So Motherwell fans, enjoy it. But it is so refreshing to see a team in the league that ain't one of the top teams, and yet they're playing a style of football that, let's face it, the top teams would fucking dream of playing. This is a guy that's like revolutionising Motherwell. This is a guy that, they've picked up 14 out of the last 18 points. Doing no bad. Gets the seal of approval for me, I'll tell you that much. But Watt plays through Callum Hendry. 1-0 to Motherwell. It's offside. Replays indicate that it was offside. I know we've had a few the odd dodgy decision recently, but I think these lines were bang on the money here. Motherwell playing it for the back. They get it forward. Slow saves the Eliza just shot. There is a penalty shout for Motherwell just before the break as Jack Milne nudges Malloy. Say, is it a penalty? Well, John Beaton doesn't think so. So here, we all know when John Beaton doesn't think it's a penalty, then it's definitely not a penalty. But in all seriousness, this was a wee nudge. There was nothing in this. And then Cammy Devlin blazed over just before half time. Motherwell, the much better team, creating opportunities, almost getting penalties, scoring offside goals. Hearts, I wouldn't say they were on the ropes, but I mean, fuck it, they were on the ropes. Look at the state of their season, man. It's fucking derailing. It's absolutely derailing. Half time then comes. Lawrence Shankland, not long after the break, has a header cleared off the line. Just then manages to get in front of Finlay. Almost beats Slow, but Slow gets down, saves it. Fadinger then has a shot saved. Motherwell then have a free kick that gets tipped over. I mean, Hearts were better in the second half, but it's not like they were bombarding Motherwell with opportunities. They really, really weren't at the end of the day. And then, essentially, the game kind of petered out. Wee bit of aggro at the end. Derek McInnes wasn't happy. But, again, they played on the counter-attack. And what they should have done is when Motherwell are playing at the back, passing about, you got to press them. You do. That's what you've got to do. Got to press them, force them into mistakes. But they didn't really do that. And I think that was the problem. But in terms of the stats, Motherwell, better team. You know, both had 9 shots each, but Motherwell had 5 on target and Hearts only had 1. And it was the Shankland header cleared off the line. But going into this weekend, in the preview show this morning, we labelled this as must-win for Hearts because they had to bounce back. I mean, to be fair, they haven't lost. And say what you want, Celtic win both games in hand. They go a point clear. Now, obviously, for a month ago, where the gap was 8 points, that's insane that it's been closed that quickly. But you look at Celtic, they will drop more points. Look at too many injuries not to drop more points between now and January. And that's just between now and January. There's no guarantee there's going to be millions spent in here. Maybe Tony Bloom will reach into his pockets. And it's the same. I mean, I don't think Hibs losing to it's the same with Motherwell, right? They're going to drop points. Hibs are going to drop points. Rangers in 5th, albeit with loads of games in hand. We're going to drop points. Every team's going to drop points. It's just a question of who's going to drop more points. I just think the problem is for Hearts is when you're 8 points clear of Celtic, it's like, right, well, to the end of the season, you can afford to drop 7 points to Celtic. They've already dropped that, and we're not even into December yet, and that's only for a month ago. And that's the problem. You feel like from this point out, Hearts are going to not be near perfect, because like I said, everyone will drop points, but some team's going to go on a run. And, I mean, obviously, recent history would show that'll probably be Celtic, but I don't think, like I said, I don't think there's going to be a massive run in any team. But are Hearts going to? I mean, how many games have Hearts played? Let me just double check. 14, right? 14. So there is 24 games to go. Have Hearts got a run in them where, I mean, what's going to get you over the line in the league? 24 games with like maybe 18 wins, 3 draws, 3 defeats. Have Hearts got that in them? I mean, recent form suggests no. That's the sort of run you would associate with Celtic, with Rangers. It's hard to call. We'll know more. Like I said, Hearts' next 5 games are really tough. If Hearts come out of that with like 12, 13 points, I think you've got to say, well, you know what, fair play, they stopped the rut. And here, it all depends what happens tomorrow. Some tough fixtures tomorrow. Anyway, Derek McInnes ain't a happy man, but I'm sure loads of people are. Till next time, peace.